Welcome to the Skip and Shannon Undisputed podcast. I'm Joy Taylor. You can catch us Monday through Friday at 9:30 a.m. Eastern, 6:30 Pacific on FS1. Here's what this podcast is all about. It's an unscripted, unfiltered, undisputed version of the day's show, and there is a lot to get into in today's podcast. Skip claims Floyd is just having keyboard courage in his recent comments about Conor McGregor. Shannon tells the story of him being hit so hard in the AFC Championship game he didn't remember how they won. The guys debate if Seattle still has any chance of making it to the Super Bowl in preparation of tonight's game, and if Richard Sherman is becoming a dirty player. Plus, Ray Lewis is back to say when he played, there are two things NFL players never did: deliver blindside hits or aim at each other's knees. And FS1 NBA analyst Chris Broussard is in studio to tell us why Russell Westbrook's runaway MVP chances are fading. Is everything okay, Shannon?
Wait, you didn't say hi to Joy first. Oh, does that mean...
He's done buttering up to me now, yeah.
I think
I see y'all in
over.
cahoots again.
He's given up.
I see y'all in cahoots again.
Yeah, maybe.
What
You don't want to go ahead and take a selfie? Go ahead.
No.
Go ahead. It's time.
You know what?
Time. It's showtime,
No,
baby.
you know, my bow tie, I got it.
Yeah, I
right.
like your bow tie.
You like it?
Cool. It's a good look. Like the white shirt.
That's the, you
Pops.
know what? That's what we're going to bet. No, I am not betting you any more due, any more propel.
Skip's gonna have to wear a bow tie.
Yes,
for this?
indeed.
No, I
Yeah,
won't
come
ever
on,
do
Skip.
that. I won't take that bet.
I don't know about that.
Here.
The war of words between Conor McGregor and Floyd Mayweather continues. Earlier this week, Mayweather said McGregor was, quote, blowing smoke up everyone's bleep regarding McGregor obtaining a boxing license in California. Now Mayweather keeps calling out McGregor this week on Instagram. Let's take a listen.
McGregor up too. We'll McGregor. I'm gonna slap McGregor. I'm gonna slap McGregor when I see him. Conor McGregor's a Conor my tap out.
It hurt.
Conor, did you quit, you little?
Yes, it hurt.
Then last night, Floyd posted on Instagram a clip of Conor tapping out against Nate Diaz and wrote, caption this, best caption wins $10,000. The winner will be announced on Monday, December 19th. Stay tuned.
In that UFC fight, which one was McGregor?
He was the one that was losing to
Hold
Nate
on,
Diaz.
I want Skip to answer. Skip Bayless. In the fight.
Are you going first on this topic or am I? If you're going first, the floor is yours.
No, go ahead.
I give you the floor.
No,
go ahead. Go. Go. I want to hear how you defend that bunch of baloney we just saw. I want to hear you defend
I
it.
ain't got nothing to say. Go ahead.
Yeah.
You want to go first?
Nope.
You're welcome.
Skip,
to.
what is your reaction to all of
Okay,
Floyd's
so
trash
now the
talk?
floor is officially
It's
mine.
yours.
Yes.
Okay, the Floyd is officially mine, as I was about to say. Shannon Sharpe, I feel sorry for you, and I feel sorry today for your man, Floyd May or may not Weather Jr., because at first I thought that was funny. Now I think it's just flat out sad, because 2 days ago, Floyd was trying to make the bogus point that Conor McGregor is talking about Floyd so Conor McGregor can keep himself relevant. Now it's very obvious Floyd will not stop talking about Conor McGregor because Floyd is trying to keep himself relevant because he is fading from relevancy. And he knows full well that Conor McGregor, the baddest man on the planet, is much bigger on the planet than
5'5",
Floyd
150.
ever was. Yeah, exactly. So I'm going to remind you that 2 days ago, Floyd made the point, he actually lied about the point, that he spoke to Conor's boss. And I'm going to assume that had to be Dana White, who said, no, Floyd never talked to me about anything about Conor McGregor. But he lied about the fact that Floyd's boss told him that this was all for show, that Conor McGregor really doesn't want to fight Floyd Mayweather Jr., that he's actually just trying to stay relevant and attract more Twitter followers. What a bunch of baloney that was. And now, if Floyd actually believed that, then he would just quit talking about Conor McGregor. He would quit feeding the media beast about Conor McGregor. But yesterday, Floyd stooped to low blow after low blow after blast because he is trying to hit and run from a distance against Conor McGregor at a safe distance. This is what you call keyboard courage. Isn't that what you're talking about?
Yes.
Yeah, this is classic keyboard courage. You know, if I see him, I'm going to slap the you-know-what out of it.
Yep.
You know what?
Slap the taste out of his mouth, boy.
You know what? at almost 40 years of age, Floyd couldn't slap the you-know-what out of a mannequin. You know it, and I know it.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, you got it. You know what? Floyd Money Mayweather, is that what you call him? Money?
Money.
I'm going to start calling him Floyd Bunny Mayweather, as in Bunny Rabbit, because he doesn't hit harder than a bunny rabbit right now. And we know he can run like a bunny rabbit. Run, Floyd. And he will run, hit and run from Conor McGregor. For the next few months, that's all you're going to hear. He's going to stay relevant, taking pot shots from a distance at a guy who would kick his behind in a boxing match. A boxing match. You know it, and I know it. Floyd Bunny Mayweather. That's who he is. This was the biggest bunch of cheap shots, and when he posted the first fight against Nate Diaz, that was Conor McGregor on short notice saying, yeah, my opponent can't fight. I'll take on that guy who outweighs me by 15 pounds and has 5 inches more reach on me. And he lost to him. But he's turned right around in a couple of months and said, Dana, I want him again. And Dana said, you can't do that. He's too big for you. No, I want him again. It was as great an athletic competition as I have ever witnessed. And I was in the second row, UFC, Las Vegas, back in August. And it was guts versus guts. And guess who won? Conor McGregor, because he can flat out box. Nate Diaz can box a little bit himself. Conor dropped him twice right away and messed him up and beat him. Fair and square beat him. And it showed me a lot of courage to go back and take on that man and avenge the earlier defeat. So go ahead, Floyd. Get your followers, your sycophants to try to win 10 grand from you by putting a caption on that, because it won't get you anywhere if you ever step into a ring with Conor McGregor, the baddest man on the planet. The floor is yours.
Okay.
Whatever floor is left for you.
When Joy was doing that voiceover, when she was reading over what was transpiring in the UFC octagon, I need to make sure I'm correct here. Which one was Conor McGregor?
Yeah, he was on the bottom. He lost the fight. We all know he lost the fight.
Was
You know he lost the fight.
Come up. Now, you told me I could have the floor, but you want to continue.
Well, you asked me a question, I get to answer it? Or wait, am I just supposed to sit over here and
just nod? Just nod in agreement.
I can't nod and answer, but you don't know which way? Okay, no, actually, that was Nate Diaz that was on the bottom.
Okay.
That was Nate.
Okay.
Go ahead. So what do you got?
Was that ketchup in the ring?
No, they fight. It's almost like bare-knuckle fighting.
Floyd Mayweather's been fighting 20 years.
Yeah, they don't use 25-ounce gloves.
Whoa, Skip. I didn't ask you anything.
Pillow fights.
I didn't ask you anything.
It's not a pillow fight.
Floyd Mayweather in the amateurs, in the Golden Gloves, going to the Olympics, in a 20-year pro career.
Yeah.
Has never shed that kind of blood.
No, because he ran 18 marathons.
Conor McGregor face looking like a sloppy Joe. Blood everywhere. You see that Joey? Oh, Joey, you see that Joey looking like, ooh, Conor, are you sure you want some of money?
Yeah.
You keep talking about a man
Want some
that's
money?
a 5 division.
Yeah.
130, 135, 140,
That's ancient
147,
history. Ancient.
154.
40 years old.
All those titles, Floyd Mayweather once had them. He gave them up.
Once upon a time.
Name the man. I would tell you what. If
We
you
don't
just
care
name me
about the
one
history.
man
We don't care
that's
about the
beaten
history.
Floyd Mayweather in the ring. Oh, that many? That's what I'm trying to tell you.
I can't speak.
No,
I
you
don't-
shouldn't. Floyd was in the Bahamas.
Yeah.
He's trying to have a good time. But you and Dana White and Conor McGregor keep trying to antagonize this man.
Because he lied. He started it. I finished it.
First of all, Conor McGregor, you got a boxing license in California. Can you fight somebody? You think you should get to go 12 rounds with the champ? You know what, Skip? I have 2 Pomeranians. One of them I call Little Devil because he's small. He's about 5 pounds. I think he's gorgeous. So should I be able to put him in the Westminster Dog Show? No, you got to accumulate points. You just don't get to say my dog look good and I want to put him in Westminster.
Don't shame your dog like that
Conor
on national TV.
Conor
Who says your dog couldn't make it at Westminster?
Because
Who says?
Because you have to have
Unless you
points.
feed him too much.
No.
Do you feed him people food?
Of course.
Get him a little
He's a
heavy?
He's a little person.
Yeah? Okay.
You feed him people food?
Oh, don't do that.
I know you.
You're going to shorten the poor thing's
Spoiled.
life.
First of all, in order to get to the Westminster, you have to accumulate points. You just don't say, I got a good-looking dog, and I want to put him in Westminster.
Yeah.
Conor McGregor, you just don't get to say, oh, I can box. Look, I get that Conor McGregor is a 2-division champ, had the belt simultaneous. But just because you did that in the UFC, that doesn't mean you get to go 12 rounds with the champ.
Yeah.
Earn your stripes. Beat somebody of noteworthiness, and then maybe we'll talk about it. But until then, you know what? I'm going to put a call into Floyd.
Yeah.
Floyd, do not engage Skip Bayless. Do not engage Dana White. And do not worry about Conor McGregor. All they're trying to do, they're just trying to antagonize you and make you take a fight. Because, see, when you look at it, when you really get down to the basics of it, there's nothing to gain by Floyd. If Floyd beats Conor McGregor, everybody says he should. He's a boxing champ. He's a 5-division champ. But if he loses, or I told you he was a bum, I told you he couldn't fight, Floyd.
That's what I would be telling you.
Floyd. But guess what? You're not going to get a chance to. Because Floyd's going to stay in the Bahamas. And as soon as I get my vacation time, I'm going to go over there and join him. And I'm going to post a video and say, Conor McGregor, I'm going to be right there with Floyd. Me and Floyd going to be in the video.
You're leading that parade, right? Yeah. Selfies with Floyd.
Yes.
Yeah. You know, speaking of Westminster, right now Floyd belongs at Westminster. That's about his speed right now.
Crazy.
Yeah. I'm not
Stop
crazy.
being disrespectful.
He's 40 years old.
So?
Come on. Conor's 28 years of age. He would get hurt by Conor McGregor. Hurt.
Skip.
He would bleed.
Look, in MMA, in the UFC, you need to be skilled in a lot of different areas. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, you make judo, karate, Muay Thai, you can box, whatever it is.
We're talking about boxing
wrestling.
here.
That's
only boxing. Got to stay on your feet. Can't wrestle, can't
Floyd
grab.
is the master of that.
Yeah, he'd have to run. This guy would not let him run. Conor McGregor would corner him and pound on him.
But let me ask you a question. You say he can't pillar. He got big pillars on his hands. Why don't people walk through his punches? Ask Canelo.
Ask Pacquiao. He said he can't punch. He said it after the fight. Pacquiao fought him with a torn rotator cuff.
Can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question?
He had the sweetest angelic face after it was over.
I just want to ask you a question.
Looked like he'd been for a walk.
For the longest time, we've heard Pacquiao said how much he hates needles. He didn't want to do the blood draw because he hates needles. Now, right before the fight, he wants to take a pain-killing injection in his shoulder.
It was his only shot.
A guy that hates needles wants to take a needle. What am I missing, Joy Taylor?
What
would you do for the
fight him?
Fight of your life? When you got a torn rotator cuff, you take the shot.
I know guys that hates needles. Me, I didn't like them, but in order for me to play, ankle, shoulder, rib, I'm getting it. Give me one, give me 2 or 3 if I need to get out there.
Absolutely.
Y'all say, I hate needles. I don't really want to do this.
But that night, he wanted the needle. He asked the Nevada Commission, can I take the needle?
Floyd
said, you didn't do the correct paperwork for the
Floyd
needle.
said, okay, I got 2 needles. I got a shot of Novocaine for you. Bam! I got a shot of Marcaine for you. Bam!
He heard it.
Got a shot of Xylocaine for you. Bam!
12 rounds.
Anesthesia.
Yeah, a lot of little gnats on Pacquiao's face. That's
Lumped up.
Little gnats on the windshield. Gnats.
How does a man fight 12 rounds? Don't have a busted lip, don't have a welt up under his eye.
Because he had a torn rotator cuff.
Floyd Mayweather. I say, did he even fight?
Hey, how much did he make off the Pacquiao fight?
200. Ooh, I mean, Joy, I ain't never seen so many zeros. It was like 2, 5, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. I had to get a calculator, all them zeros.
250 million. I thought it was 300 million. You know what? You might be able to double that for a Conor McGregor-Floyd boxing match. It would be worldwide hysteria.
Tell Conor McGregor to
boxing match.
Tell Conor McGregor to
You know what? Floyd is so greedy, he's not going to be able to stay away from this. He won't be able to save himself from himself. The money is going to be so massive that he's going to say, you know what, I got this. And all of his sycophants around him, all his entourage will be saying, Floyd, you kill him. You just kill him, man. You're going to hurt him. You're going to beat him up. No, Floyd, go ahead. You can take the $600 million and run, Floyd. And he's going to step into a ring with Conor McGregor and wish that he never had, because that one, that's the number. Not 600 million. 1 is the standout number, and it's going to be on his legacy. He lost to Conor McGregor, a UFC guy, beat him.
Think about it.
He's trapped.
Floyd Mayweather's made 250, 125, 70, 80, fighting fighters not named Conor McGregor. When has Conor McGregor made 250? When has he made 50?
Well, he's fighting under UFC.
Well, okay, then. Right? So that's what he's trying to do. Floyd Mayweather is Floyd Mayweather, Inc. I fight when I want to fight, where I want to fight, and the time of night. Floyd Mayweather says, I'm not coming out my dressing room until 11:23:36. That's when he leaves his dressing room. I'm not coming in the ring until 11:25:14.
Boy,
that's when he steps into the ring.
Boy, that's
Conor
scary.
McGregor, guess what?
If I'm Conor, I'd be scared.
Dana White picks up the phone.
I'd be sweating.
Dana White picks up the phone and says, Conor, I need you to dance up here in New York. Conor's on a flight dancing. Conor, I need you to come dance in Las Vegas. He's dancing in Vegas.
You know what? If I know Conor McGregor, tonight he would meet Floyd in any alley of Floyd's choice. Just the two
Floyd
of them.
already told you you're going to slap him when
Conor,
you see him.
That's what I'm saying. And Conor would just look him right in the eye and say, go ahead, slap away, and see what comes back. You know, that's what I would
See the
pay to
bodyguards Floyd Mayweather walks around with?
Yeah.
Because
Why does he have those?
Because here's the thing.
How
Why
is
would
that?
he need
Well,
bodyguards?
I think he needs them. There's a lot of people trying to get to him. I'm just
of all,
wondering how that
really-
works in an
first of all,
alleyway.
You know what? Floyd's a tiny, skinny little man.
Floyd.
He's-
Floyd. Skip. The man's hands are considered lethal weapons.
They are?
If he were to put them things on somebody, he put them 55s on you.
Yeah, he
five.
can't fight someone in an
Would he
alley.
put them 55s on you, Skip?
Oh.
Just like if he's not worried about McGregor, I don't know why he's feeling the need to
Yeah,
respond to it.
why do you keep talking?
Because Conor McGregor keeps talking about, I want $100 million. Dana White trying to call him, Dana, run the UFC.
Yeah.
Don't worry about Floyd. Floyd Inc.
He's not. He was asked about it. Dana's name got put in it,
No
not
comment.
the other way around.
No, when they ask me something, I want no comment.
Floyd has plenty of comments.
Yeah.
That's Floyd Mayweather, 5-time champion.
That's Floyd Mayweather Jr. Keyboard courage, cowardly courage. That's what that is. That's flat out
First of all,
cowardly.
I want you to stop using my
slap them.
term to describe my guy.
I got you.
No mercy.
8-4-1 Seahawks are 16-point favorites against the Rams tonight. It's the first game for the Rams without head coach Jeff Fisher, who was fired earlier this week. The Seahawks have lost 3 in a row to the Rams, including a 9-3 loss in Week 2. Shannon, the Seahawks are your Super Bowl pick,
Yes.
but they're coming off a blowout loss in Green Bay. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how confident are you that they'll win the NFC?
I'm a 8.5, 9.
Woo.
I would be all the way to a 10 if the offensive line was just a tad more solid. This team is battle tested. They can go on the road and win playoff games. They've done it before. I have the utmost confidence in Russell Wilson, and I know if you just take Sunday's game and you just look at it by itself, you're going to say, wow, they gave up 38 points. But of those drives, 4 of them started in Seattle's territory.
True.
I do not believe that Russell Wilson, that offense, would turn the ball over 6 times. Russell threw 5 interceptions. And if you look at it, they only gave up, out of 38 points, they only gave up 330 yards. The Denver Broncos had 350 and only scored 10 points. So it just goes to show you what a short field the Packers were on having to get those points. And so with that being said, I know what Pete Carroll is. I know he'll have this team ready to play come January when they most need it. They're going to probably get the number 2 seed. And so they'll get at least one game at home. And who knows? You never know what happened at Jerry World's when the curtains come down.
Wait, are you already projecting the NFC Championship game will feature my Cowboys against your Seahawks?
All I'm saying is I have an 8.5, 9 confidence in the Seattle Seahawks that they will be the representative from the NFC in the Super Bowl in Houston. That's what I'm saying.
All right, I hear you. I respect every point you just made. But my confidence level, scale of 1 to 10, on your Seahawks making it to the Super Bowl has plummeted to a 4.
What?
To a 4. And I do respect this team's mental toughness, its experience, its fire-testedness, its battle-testedness, as you said.
Yes.
Won the Super Bowl after 2013 season and lost the Super Bowl. Way to go, Tom Brady. Way to go, Malcolm Butler.
Yeah,
Next
exactly.
year, yeah,
Malcolm Butler.
Yep. And then, of course, last year, that was a heck of a display last year at Carolina. The Panthers were crazy hot at that point. They're up 31-0, and it winds up 31-24. So I give you all of the above. But I cannot give you Earl Thomas because you don't got Earl Thomas anymore, right? And that is such a huge mental and sort of spiritual loss to that defense. And so far, and I'm a big Russell Wilson fan, on and off the field. But in this case, he is having a flat-out bad year by Russell Wilson standards. Is that fair to say? Because by his standards?
That's very safe to say.
Okay. And again, does it have a lot to do with the offensive line? Yes. Does it have something to do with this little injury followed by that little injury? Maybe they're big injuries. I don't know, but he keeps going, keeps moving. It looked like he's been moving pretty well lately. But he's now plunged to 14th in QBR, and that's by far his worst in his 5 NFL seasons. So he alone hasn't been able to, like once upon a time back in the Ravens days or even the Broncos days, Shannon Sharpe was that one playmaker, right? Like they just, especially the Ravens, you're going to make one play. Russell Wilson used to be that one playmaker. He'd make one big play a game, maybe 2 or 3, that would change the game offensively and sort of match up with the defensive intensity and get you over the top on the scoreboard. But he alone has not been able to lift this team and this defense onto the top of the NFC so far. So now let's look at the rest of the Seattle offense. Think about this. They are now 22nd in scoring. That's terrible by Seattle standards. They're 21st in third down conversions. That's just awful. They're 25th in time of possession. That's a killer for the defensive side of the ball. They're now tied for 18th in turnover ratio. That's offense-defense, obviously, but they're at 0 right now. Right. So it's 50-50. They've only taken the ball away 16 times, which is not very good for the defense because that's only 20th in the NFL. So the defense is no longer taking the ball away to help the offense. The offense is giving the ball away, but I got to be fair about this because he just gave it away 5 times. So that didn't help, but it got him back to 0 for the year. Still not very good, which brings me to the defense. The defense, even a lot of this is with Earl Thomas, it hasn't been that Legion of Boom this year. I'm sorry, I don't see that defense anymore because they're now 3rd in scoring defense. You realize the last 4 years, they have led the NFL in scoring defense. Now they're 3rd. That's a big drop to me. That's significant.
But they played a lot of games. They played about 5 games without Cam Chancellor. They played
did.
5 games without Michael Bennett.
Fair
and
enough.
Now they're going to have to go the rest of the way without Earl Thomas.
Okay, for whatever reason, those are all fair points. But it hasn't clicked the way it used to click. Where I used to turn on Seattle games and I'd say, well, this is going to be something to nothing. You know, it's almost like Ray talking about. We would get off the bus and say, they're not going to score today.
Right.
You know, well, that's how this defense used to be, and it's not quite that in part because of the injuries. So now they've fallen to 8th in yards allowed. That's shockingly bad by that defensive standard. So the combination of bad year for Russell Wilson and injuries and maybe a little drop-off in intensity on defense, whatever it is, adds up to 8, 4, and 1, which is still very good. And you're right, they still have a good shot at being the 2 seed, but now they've lost 2 games, 2 out of 3 now, scoring 5 and 10 points. Right. And I told you on Monday, when you lose 38-10 this late in the year, it's just a bad sign because Pete Carroll always talks about we shift into gear in December, and I think that's got to give you cause to pause.
No, because we lost our first Super Bowl. We went to Pittsburgh, I think, maybe the week 12, week 13, and we got blown out. They beat us by 3 touchdowns.
Okay, were you at the top of the conference at that point?
Yeah, we at one point we were like 12-1. We lost to Kansas City, we lost to Pittsburgh, and then we ended up losing to I think San Francisco. So that made us 12-4, and then we had to win the last game because then we were the wild card because Kansas City jumped us. So we not only did we have to beat Jacksonville, then we had to go back, play Kansas City, who had beaten us for the division like 3 weeks earlier. Then we had to go back and play Pittsburgh for the AFC Championship game, who had beaten us a month earlier.
And?
You already know how that ended. You know how that ended. You know what happens, Gil.
Okay. All right. It's possible, but most coaches will tell you you have to quote the great Tom Landry in my Dallas days, he used to say, you need to streak into the playoffs. You need to get on some kind of roll going into January, or it will usually come back to bite you. So can they get back on a roll? Well, here come the Rams. So I'm going to point this out again. It's not a cheap shot. It's just a fact. They have lost 3 in a row to the now Los Angeles Rams. They have lost 4 of the last 5 to the now Los Angeles Rams. They lost back September 13th, I believe it was, 18th. September 18th, they lost 9-3 here in LA.
Correct.
Okay, 9-3. So now, obviously, the rookie quarterback is playing for the Rams. It's not Case Keenum. So Jared Goff, can he score 3 points? Could he score 6 points? Could he maybe even score 7 points? I don't know. I'm not sure that the Seahawks tonight can score much more than 10 points maybe against this defense, because this defense is still loaded with talent.
They are.
This defense has sort of quit, I thought, on its now former head coach.
Looked like everything quit.
It looked like everything quit. So it's possible tonight, because this team has a little hold over the Seahawks because they're division rivals. They think they know how to beat them. They think they kind of have their number a little bit.
Yes.
I could see this defense going in there against this Russell Wilson offense or lack thereof and keeping them to a very low score. It was, what would you say the spread is now? 15 and 16. It's gone to 16 and a half. I think it was 15 and a half yesterday. 16 and a half, I'll take some of that.
Teams that if you noticed over the years since Seattle has been constructed, Pete Carroll is there, Russell Wilson in this defense. Teams that give them problems can match them physicality-wise on the defensive side of the football.
Correct.
You look at the San Francisco 49ers when they were going back and forth. 49ers went to the Super Bowl. Then the next couple of years to Seattle, it was a defense that can match them with physicality. The St. Louis Rams, they have littered with first-round draft picks on their defensive line. They got good linebackers. They got speed in the secondary. They can match them physicality. That is the only way you can compete with them. You have to match their physicality against their defense with your defense. Because if you don't, and they make you turn the ball over, and Russell Wilson, because, Skip, if you look at Russell, he has that knee brace on. He's still not the Russell Wilson that we saw last year and years before when his legs were perfectly healthy. We know that about him. They can't run the football like they once could. They're asking Russell to throw the football 35, 40 times a game. That's really, he can do it, but that's not how they're built. Because when you go 3 and out and you put the defense back on the field, okay, they give up a touchdown, then you go 3 and out again, now it starts to snowball. And think about it now. They lost a game in which they gave up 14 points, which they gave up 9 points, and they tied a game in which they gave up 6 points.
That's correct.
So that just goes to show you this is not Russell Wilson that we're used to seeing. And I'll give it to you. He's turned the ball over more. There's in some games, I don't even recognize the guy. But then again, he'll flash. You see this guy that goes to New England, and you say, that's Russell Wilson. They're back. And then you see the guy that plays in Lambeau, and you see the guy that plays in L.A. out here early this year. You're like, I don't even know who this guy is. But I have the utmost confidence in this team. I have the utmost confidence in this coach. And because they have something that your Cowboys do not have. They have Paul Allen as an opener. You have Jerry Jones. And I already know Jerry. Jerry already cooking up something. He in the kitchen right now cooking up something for Skip Bayless, and you're not going to like it.
I might not. and to your point, does Paul Allen ever speak publicly?
No.
I don't think he does.
No.
I don't even know. I'm not sure I could pick Paul Allen out of a lineup. I don't know. Maybe I should because of his past history off the field. But,
That 440-foot
saying.
yacht.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what
where
he
you can find
needed.
him.
Me and you get that, Skip.
Yeah, but Jerry Jones is one of the most recognizable figures in America.
And he
Am I
likes
right
it
about
that way.
Good
Okay,
and
so
bad.
last quick point. So after all the points that you did give me, all the negative points against your Seahawks, you're still at an 8.5 or 9 in confidence?
Battle tested.
I think
You don't go to 2 of the last 3 Super Bowls. You don't win one and then make a boneheaded play that cost you another one without being battle tested, without being hardened. When the rubber meets the road and you must come up with something, come playoff time, I'm going to sit back, get me a nice glass of tea, and watch them do what they do, Skip.
I don't know if he'll be that
But
relaxed.
when the rubber meets the road, one of those tires is flat in Seattle. That's what's going to happen.
Okay.
Well, let's stay with Seattle. Richard Sherman had a controversial hit on wide receiver Devontae Adams in Sunday's loss to the Packers. No penalty was called on the play. Yesterday, former Packers tight end Jermichael Finley tweeted, "Come on, Richard Sherman. That's cheap, bruh. You're better than that, homie. Hashtag cheap shot." Sherman defended the hit, tweeting back at Finley, "Scramble drill. You know the rules. Don't like it. Don't leave the pocket." After it was pointed out that Aaron Rodgers was still in the pocket on the play, Sherman deleted the tweet. Shannon, is Richard Sherman becoming a dirty player?
You are what you repeatedly do. And I believe that a play can be legal, but your actions can be dirty. And we've seen Richard do this early in the year against Buffalo.
We did.
Buffalo was down 25-31. And Tyrod Taylor looks to be Richard said he was scrambling, but it looks to me that he was moving parallel to the line of scrimmage.
He was.
He was trying to buy time so a receiver can come
Totally
open.
agree. Yep.
But Richard Sherman knocked down Walter Powell.
He did.
Hey, scramble drill. Hey, we get the idea you can do that because the guy might be getting in position to block you for a guy that's the quarterback that's scrambling. Okay, NFL says, hey, that's well within the rules. He knocked him down. We also see Richard Sherman jump off sides. The field goal kicker is trying to attempt a field goal. He slides into the kicker's knee. He's unapologetic. Well, if you don't want me to hit your knee, don't try and kick the ball. Bro, you were offside.
Yeah, way offside.
Way offside.
Yeah.
And normally when you look, I was on field goal block, I was on all the special teams. Normally you teach the guy to lay out in the front of where the ball is going to leave his foot. He couldn't have blocked that even if he tried to. He ran dead into the guy's knee. And on this play, Davante Adams, Aaron Rodgers is looking to his left. He's not scrambling. Mm-hmm. And Richard Sherman hits the guy in the back. But you know what? Richard Sherman is a very smart guy. Mm-hmm. He knows all the rules when it comes to the defense, the cornerback and wide receiver engagement.
Yep.
He knows all the rules.
He does.
And he plays to those rules. But you know, I've had a lot of dealings with guys like Richard Sherman in my 14 years. So this is the way we're going to play it. Because, see, all I needed to know, Skip, is how we were going to play the game.
Yeah.
Okay, here's the line. Are we going to walk to the line and look over, or are we going to step over it?
Yep.
Okay, so now Richard Sherman has told me we're stepping over the line.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Good.
Because one of two things are going to happen. Either I'm going to get Richard Sherman, or I'm going to get Cam Chancellor, Earl Thomas, or I'm going to get one of their guys. Mm-hmm. Because if you do this to me or one of my guys, I got to get you back. Right. And I know the NFL doesn't like this, but I am 1,000% into retribution. Mm-hmm. Because I need to send a message to everybody else that think this, because see what's going to happen, if you get physical with Davante Adams, this is what he'll do. If you get physical with such and such, this is what they'll do. So I need to send a message, because your fate is already determined. I'm going to get you back, but I need to send a message to other teams that's going to be watching this tape. If you think you can get away with this, with doing this to Shannon or his teammates, think again, because retribution will be swift and harsh.
Love it. Agree with it. I want to be clear about this before I go forward. I've had my issues with Richard Sherman before on the old show, and he is welcome to come on this show whenever he so pleases. Mm-hmm. And I believe, if I'm correct, he's been offered the opportunity to come on this show whenever he chooses. We'd love to have him for the whole show if he would want to come on. But I'm with you. Richard Sherman is what he does, and he is playing dirty, dirtier and dirtier this year than I've ever seen him play. I don't know if he's starting to lose a little, if he feels like he's losing a little half step or whatever, but he used to be the most dominating cornerback in football, and this year, not sure about that anymore after I saw Janoris Jenkins the other night against Des Bryant.
Yes.
And I don't like it that he's picking on receivers who I consider softer kind of receivers. Davante Adams is not a tough guy.
Right.
I don't know Walter Powell, but he's like the fifth receiver, just some guy, right?
But he's taking the coward's way out because he's hitting him in the back.
That's what I'm saying.
Hit him in his face.
Hit him right in the back and knock him down. It's just cheap. And I cannot believe that play was not flagged, because usually when Richard responds and defends himself, he is dead right.
Yes.
And makes everybody eat a little crow about criticizing him. In this case, he was just wrong, because remember, Aaron Rodgers pulled his calf muscle on the first touchdown pass to Davante Adams.
Yes.
And then he's limping and gimping the whole rest of the game. He's not leaving the pocket, and he didn't leave the pocket that time. And I don't care what, you're right about Tyrod. He was just drifting a little, maybe 5 yards left.
Yes.
Well, that's still effectively a pocket pass to me. I mean, you have made no apparent move toward the goal line, right?
Right.
Yeah, okay, so you can't get away with that. And the officials, I think Richard's getting some preferential treatment just because of the great reputation that he had built, and now, not so much. So how could they not have flagged that play? And he said scramble drill. No, it wasn't a scramble drill, and the refs knew it wasn't a scramble drill. So wasn't that pretty blatant? Now, the pass went to Randall Cobb. It was probably 10 yards left of where Davante went down. Right. But it's just a blatant shove in the back, knockdown, and to Davante's credit, he got up and got Richard's face.
I've seen guys get hit like that and dislocate an elbow for the simple fact they're trying to brace themselves. See, if I'm going to catch a pass, I'm expecting a hit because I know the coverage and I know where I'm vulnerable taking the hit.
Right.
But when I'm just running a route and I see the quarterback looking to his left,
Yep.
I'm not expecting a guy to hit me in the back because the ball is not coming in my direction. So now I'm ill-prepared to fall. Now I'm going to hurt myself. And see, now I'm upset. I'm seething. But I'm not going to say a word. See, Devontae Adams got him pushed it back. I wouldn't have did anything. Don't worry about it.
Well, so you're saying sometime later in that game.
I got to get him.
This isn't a division.
No. Oh,
Time.
I'm going to get him before I leave that game. I'm going to get Cam Chancellor or one of their guys before I leave that game. And when they're limping off the field, I want them to thank Richard Sherman for this. Because we didn't have to play like this. Because the game is already physical enough. We're going to be involved in 65, 70 plays. And if you play special teams, maybe a little more. So there's going to be enough chance for injury to happen. And you're going to go out of your way? You're going to take a cheap shot on me? Don't worry about it, bro.
Unfortunately, I'm not sure Richard Rodgers was Shannon Sharpe, but that's the problem. Jared Cook was hurt. I don't know if those guys are enforcer types.
Hey, Skip, I can't. Because guess what? Everybody's watching this film. You get tape, and we will say, hey, if we start leaning on these guys, they'll turn it down. If you start hitting these guys, they'll turn it down. So if you start seeing this, everybody thinks they can do this and get away with it.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I'm not going to let that happen.
Yeah, putting people in dangerous ways.
No mercy.
Richard Sherman had a controversial hit on wide receiver Devontae Adams in Sunday's loss to the Packers. No penalty was called on the play, but yesterday, former Packers tight end Jermichael Finley tweeted, "Come on, Richard Sherman, that's cheap, bruh. You're better than that. Hashtag cheap shot." Sherman defended the hit, tweeting back at Finley, "Scramble drill, you know the rules. Don't like it, don't leave the pocket." After it was pointed out that Aaron Rodgers was still in the pocket on the play, Sherman deleted the tweet. Ray Lewis is still with us. We'll start with Shannon. Do you think that Richard Sherman is becoming a dirty player?
We are what we repeatedly do. Therefore, it's not an act, it's a habit. Richard Sherman, what we've seen this year, has a habit of doing things that is dirty. Therefore, by that definition, I believe he is dirty. We've seen this. We saw it in Buffalo. Buffalo was down. Seattle was ahead, 35-21 over the Buffalo Bills. Tyrod Taylor, he's not making a play towards the line of scrimmage. He's moving laterally, trying to buy time for his receiver to get open. He hits the receiver, knocks the receiver down 30 yards from the field. Okay, you can say Tyrod, okay. Maybe he was out of the pocket, okay, to the letter of the law. Okay, I get it. Now, he jumps off sides. He slides into the kicker's knee. And instead of saying, you know what, I'm sorry, well, he shouldn't have tried to kick the ball. Huh? And then this. You hit Devontae Adams in the back, and then you talking about it was a scramble drill. Well, when it comes to when you see the steal shot and he wasn't scrambling, you delete the tweet. Until somebody takes actions against Mr. Sherman and give him a dose of what he's giving people, then and only then will he learn. These are the times I don't miss the game for any other. I don't miss the money. I don't miss the adulation. I would like to play in games because when guys like Richard Sherman do this, I need to be on the other team because I want to pay him back. I want to pay Cam. I want to pay Earl Thomas or Wagner. I want to get them what he just gave to one of my teammates.
And you think what, Mr. Lewis?
Man, y'all got to stop this. Y'all got to stop this. Shay, so what he done to Devontae Adams when hitting him in the back?
Yes.
Was just pure dirty. That's just dirty.
Because if the ball was coming my way, I'm expecting because I know the defense and so I know where I'm going to get hit. See, when you hit me unexpectedly, when we say, remember how the question was formed. When we say, is he becoming a dirty player? Absolutely. You just said you don't like to get hit in your back.
No.
So where's the ball at?
Listen.
So why did he hit him in the back?
Listen, hold on. We're talking about totally two different worlds.
Okay.
Because if Hines Ward was doing this, if we was highlighting Hines Ward back then, Hines Ward would have been kicked out of the league.
Oh, I know.
Because he was doing hits that was purely illegal. I mean, just purely illegal.
So why did he hit him in the back then?
Who?
Why did Richard Sherman
Probably at the state of the game, and you know this better than anybody, at the state of the game, all marbles are, listen, you know how to play marbles. Stop playing. You kick them out.
Got a bag of them. Put them in the circle, cat's eye. No, get big old circle, closer to the line, who goes first?
I have a favorite red and green.
Yeah, I got
know what I'm talking about. So the bottom line is, how do you stop offensive plays? You eliminate any possibilities. You know the rule.
But you can't knock the man down
Shay.
in a route.
Shay, this is defense. This is not.
You don't get the luxury of knocking me down
If we're saying if Richard Sherman is becoming a bad player.
No, I ain't saying bad. Dirty.
Dirty. Okay, dirty.
Dirty.
By the two plays, by the one play that I just seen, okay, yeah, it's not fair. Absolutely. Should he have done it? Probably not. But dirty player because of that play? No way, Shay.
Don't worry about it. I've got tired. I'm gonna clean it right on up.
And that's why the word, just like he used the word karma, is real. Now, because if he is becoming that guy, somebody's watching on film and saying, this is the guy you have to deal with. He's a cheap shot artist. I don't think nobody turns on a film that's getting ready to play against Richard Sherman and says, this is a cheap shot artist. This is a dirty player, and this is the way we're going to get at him. I don't think nobody...
I bet you they do.
No, they do not, Shay.
From an offensive standpoint, I'm telling you, yeah, we would. Because that's what we do. We look at defensive backs. We know Dale Carter, this is what he's going to do.
That's a totally different animal.
There are certain guys, because here's what's getting on tape. See, he's trying to put on tape, if I do this, they'll turn it down. They don't like physical play. See, y'all look at it as physicality.
Absolutely.
We look at it as you being dirty, so guess what? Don't worry about it. You physical, we gonna be physical too.
Wait a second. Is this boiling down to the defensive player has the defensive player's back and the offensive player says, I'm getting
It
even
appears
with
so.
that?
Absolutely.
Yeah, okay. That's what we got.
Absolutely. I mean, I don't know how we... Listen, I understand totally. I'm not saying the play for him just hitting his man in the back, whatever, it's bad, whatever. But dirty player, I'm not going to say Richard Sherman's a dirty player.
What about the kicker?
What about
Dan
he jumped 7 yards offside and run dead into the kicker's knee? What was that?
That's a dirty play. That's a dirty play.
So who do dirty plays? If the laundry is dirty, it's dirty.
I've done a dirty play before. That don't mean I was a dirty player.
Oh, you were dirty. Let me ask you a question.
Say, don't you?
Let me ask you a question. If you had done that, if I saw you done that, what would I have done if I was on the other team?
Oh, Lord, it would have been a war. It would have been a war. Right.
To me, Richard is becoming a dirty player.
Absolutely.
I had never thought of him in those terms before until this year. And I don't know why, but I'm seeing 1, 2, 3 dirty plays. That's a lot of dirty plays. This one got me, and the more I look at it, again, it's not a scramble drill. Aaron Rodgers is hurt. He's limping back to the huddle. He can't even leave the pocket.
Right.
And furthermore, Richard just didn't do a subtle push in the back, pushed him down. He launched into him with his shoulder and hits him hard in the back. And to your point earlier in the show, there could be an injury waiting to happen when you hit the ground because you don't see that one coming at all.
The wrist, the shoulder, anything.
Dislocated elbow.
Anything,
Something could be coming, and it's so dirty to me. Now, it was effectively dirty because he eliminated a receiver from the play.
Yeah.
The ball ended up going to Randall Cobb about 10 yards across. But the point is that how did he get away with it? Are the referees blind? I mean, it's so blatant that somebody's got to throw a flag because there's no scramble drill going on. He's in the pocket, right?
Yep.
And there's a 5-yard chuck rule. You can't touch anybody after 5 yards. And this is what? Is it 15 yards?
15 yards
15 yards down the field on an end cut.
Yeah.
On an end cut. So if a ball is being held that long on an end cut, then if you're a receiver, if it is in a scramble drill, by that time, it better be a scramble drill.
But see, the thing is, when I see John, the way the scramble drill works.
I know what you're finna say the way it works, Shay.
When I see John, here's the thing. If I'm level with John, so Devontae Parker, he's the furthest receiver.
Adams.
Adams. I keep saying Adams.
It's all right. They're close, yeah.
What's it? Parker? Adams.
Yeah,
Devontae
Adams.
Adams. He's the deepest guy. He gets to go deepest. Randall Cobb, if he keeps on the parallel plane,
right.
stays even with it.
Yeah.
If somebody's there, who's ever on that side that's running the comeback, they turns and go deep also. So Richard Sherman doesn't know that. He hits the man in the back because the guy's in the pocket. The guy's in the pocket.
Are they losing at that time?
7-3.
So that's what I'm saying.
7-3.
That's what I'm saying. So we can't look. There's a couple of bad things that he done running into the kicker, right? Hitting this boy in the back. Now, hitting this boy in the back is eliminating what his job is, which is making sure he don't catch the football.
Okay.
I've heard that 1,000 times in the defensive meeting room. Make sure the best way to make sure he don't catch the football is have him on the ground. Now, everything you guys are saying, I'm just saying for us to say Richard Sherman is becoming a dirty player. That's a for me to watch his body of work. this is probably in all of his years, this is probably the only time we've highlighted Richard Sherman of becoming a dirty player. I've never seen him run up and spear somebody and go at, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Well, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to run up and I'm going to try to put my helmet up under his chin. So the best way to eliminate him, the best cover guy, is to put him on the sideline.
I know, but that's somebody else's job now, because me and you on this side of it, so we chilling.
Yeah, that's what I'm
So somebody else got to go
But
through
I'm
that.
giving you from my point of view. But let me
Yeah.
ask you a question.
Yeah.
If you build 100 houses, what are you? You're a builder. If
Yeah.
you paint 1,000 pictures, you're an artist.
Yeah.
Well, that's debatable. But
Well, there's
Very
a story,
debatable.
there's a story behind that, but for this argument, let's use that.
Okay.
But here's the thing, though. At some point in time, you are what your actions say you are. You don't get to say, well, if you lie, but he's a good person, he lied.
In this whole year, out of hundreds of plays, we have picked out 2 plays that Richard Sherman hit somebody.
3.
3 plays out of hundreds of plays.
Did it happen?
And you're telling me out of 3 plays, Richard Sherman is now a dirty player.
So
You
let me,
cannot- I can't-
Let me ask you a question.
Y'all better stop this.
If the police,
Y'all better stop
if the police
this.
catch you for speed.
Y'all better stop
If
this.
he catch you for speed
Uh-huh.
one time,
Yeah.
are you a speeder?
No.
Well, you get a ticket.
Only on that one time
Okay,
you are.
okay, on the play, he's dirty.
Because he's gonna check your
No,
record.
you are a speeder. You just happen to get caught this time.
He's gonna check your record, Joe, and what he's gonna say? Oh, you know what? Your
Get him.
record ain't even that bad.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
And he's gonna let you go.
And let
Most
me ask
of
you a
them
question.
will.
Hey, you remember a couple of weeks ago, Tom Brady, they ran what was that play? A wildcat. And Tom Brady was out there blocking. If you was on the defense and Tom Brady was out there blocking, what would you doing?
No, that wouldn't happen. They wouldn't do that. See, so
they just wouldn't do it.
They know better.
sir, they know who to call those plays against. You're not gonna send Tom Brady on no pull around.
Would you clean his clock?
Look,
If you
Skip,
had the shot.
that's not a good picture.
Okay.
That would not be a good
All right,
picture.
all right.
Yeah.
All right, I got to go back to one point. Here's what also disturbs me about Richard. Devontae Adams to me is a finesse receiver. He's not a big physical receiver.
Yeah.
This is not Des Bryant he was
Right.
picking on. And that kid, what's his name, Walter Powell, I
Right.
don't even know really who he is.
Right.
He's like their 5th or 6th receiver who was on the far side of the end zone.
Or
He
Julio.
just throws him down. Not Julio. He didn't
Right.
pick on Julio.
That's what I'm saying.
And then he
Julio
picked
cooked him.
on a kicker, right?
Yeah.
He went after the Is the kicker going to retaliate?
no.
I don't think so. So my point is, he is picking on people he knows he can get away with picking on. They're not, to Devontae's credit, at least he got up and got in his
Yeah.
face a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't get pushed. I mean, they were more apt to push Rod or Ed. They wouldn't push him because they already know. I believe it. I believe in retribution. I'm going to get you back.
But if you believe that so much, if there was a player on your team like Richard Sherman doing something like this, would you tell him to stop?
I used to tell Romo, I used to ask, I said, Romo, why do you have to do that? I said, because you
Bill
do it,
Romanowski.
Bill Romanowski.
Yeah.
I said, Romo, you doing this, they gonna take it out on us. So now I got to protect myself. I got to keep my head around because you doing this foolishness.
Man, that was the rule. What you mean? Ain't no friends out there. Ain't no friends out there, man.
But I don't.
Y'all better stop this,
I don't
man.
need no-
Y'all better stop
Look
this,
here.
Shay.
You don't have to.
Y'all
be my
know the
friend.
rule, Shay.
Don't hit me in my knee.
Shay, you know the rule when you
Don't
cross
hit-
that line.
If you don't hit
that's
me,
that's the only rule.
and don't cheap shot me.
That's the only rules.
That's it.
That's the only rules.
Yes.
You know what I wish I could do tonight? I wish I could suit up Shannon Sharpe in Los Angeles Rams blue, number 82 tonight,
Well-
and let you loose on number 25
No, don't
on
put
the
my boy out
Seahawks.
there like that. Don't-
Right?
no,
Huh?
He thinks he
Hey,
could do it.
he can do it. I think he can do it.
But when I put it like this here, when I was playing, because we watching tape, we watching their defense,
Yeah.
we see what he does against Green Bay.
Yeah.
We saw what he did against Buffalo.
Yeah.
Yeah, the hitman, I don't. I'm gonna just end this last thing.
Okay, wait a
Y'all
second.
need to stop this.
I got to
serious,
ask you, did you ever have retribution in your heart? Did you ever get even with somebody?
Man, yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Yeah, I want to make sure. I just
Thank
want to
you.
make
But that's what I'm trying to tell you, Skip. We got to stop doing this. We can't,
Oh, okay.
we can't make everybody bad because of 3 plays, Shay. Not 3 plays.
Okay, you know what?
10 plays, stop.
How about this here? I just get him back 3 times then.
10
Hands
plays.
I
fighting.
just get him back 3 times.
Okay, get him back.
I think the biggest learn today is that Shannon is actually King Petty. He's
Oh,
Queen Petty.
oh,
it appears
see?
that
See?
Shannon is a little bit
Kaboom.
petty.
Oh, they
Just
know.
a little bit.
Oh, they know. Hey, don't start something you
Petty
can't
over there with
finish.
that bow
There
tie.
you go.
Hey,
Ray, thanks for joining
we
us.
used to
Thank
prank
you.
guys. I took the guy's truck and drove it 2 miles and left it up running. We out at practice looking at who called that with the doors open and lights on
Wait, are
running.
you suggesting Joy's car is going to wind up down Pico
It better not.
somewhere today?
Listen, it better not. I got a place
Might
to
end
go.
up in San
Charge you
Diego.
with all my Ubers. Last night, for the third straight game, Russell Westbrook didn't have a triple-double as the Thunder lost in Utah. After last night's loss, Westbrook said he doesn't want to talk about triple-doubles. Let's take a listen.
Honestly, man, you know, people in this triple-double thing is kind of getting on my nerves, honestly. People think, man, if I don't get it, it's like a big thing. When I do get it, it's a thing. If y'all just let me play, if I get it, I get it. If I don't, I don't. It is what it is. I really don't care. Like for the 100th time. I don't care. All I care about is winning.
We're joined by Chris Broussard. Chris, do you have any sympathy for Westbrook having to constantly talk about these triple-doubles?
It's only December. He's got, 50 games left of this?
Yep.
This is the product of greatness, right? I mean, LeBron James has had this type of scrutiny his entire career, and even maybe before. I think that's why you're so hard on LeBron, because his greatness, you know, you hold him to a higher standard.
Well, he came out of high school and chose to wear 23 and chose the chosen one tattoo, right? I mean,
He was the chosen one.
He
Well,
announced, he said, I'm here, I got next, right?
His idol was Michael Jordan, so,
okay, all
you
right,
know,
all
I know you think it's another reason,
How
but
do we get on LeBron already?
we'll get to him. But we saw the Warriors when they chased 73, the toll it took on them in those
It did.
last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
But they got to deal with it as a team. Now you got one guy, and remember, his whole career he's had Kevin Durant there. So he's not only been the second guy on
That's
the
a good
court,
point. Yep.
but he's also to the media. You know, you're the second guy we go to.
Yep.
So Durant's kind of had to carry that load. I get it. I mean, it's tough. Oscar Robertson didn't have to deal with this when he went through his triple-double. But that's the product of greatness. I think the question going forward, maybe the concern for Oklahoma City, is after 2 or 3 years of this, whether it's the triple-double or not, just him being having to deal with all the load of carrying this team with the media, will he get tired of it and feel like, you know, now I can appreciate now why you want 2 or 3 stars on your team. LeBron in Cleveland, his first go-round, got tired of just carrying that load all by himself, went to Miami. Now he's got other stars with him in Cleveland. So that would be the fear for the Thunder going forward. Does this take a toll on Westbrook like that?
Well, you see, I took the tie off. I got tired of fidgeting with it.
I like that look.
I liked it, man. I like
That's
to see
sharp.
him in that bow tie.
You like
That is sharp.
Yeah, Skip likes my look now. No, I don't have any sympathy for him. As you mentioned, LeBron James has been going through this since high school. Every day, if he scores 50 and they lose, what happened, LeBron? If he gets a triple-double, they win, can you keep this going? Bron has always had to deal with this. And somehow, Bron is like, hey, I'm trying to win. Now, all of a sudden, when he was getting these praises for these triple-doubles, and he kind of wanted this, he wasn't disappointed that Kevin Durant left. Chris, you know that. It was the same way when Kobe got rid of Shaq. Now I get an opportunity to show you what I can really, really do. Now he's getting an opportunity, and triple-doubles happening every night. And I told you, if he doesn't get that, they have no chance of winning. And even when he gets the triple-doubles, the best he could possibly hope for, the 7th and the 8th seed, Chris. You think he's going to be – Utah is for real.
Utah is for real. I like Utah. We watched that game last night.
And
but
Portland?
they could get 4th. They could. I'm not saying they will, but I think they should hope for 4th. I think that – I mean, who – of those teams, Memphis, they can't play with Memphis. They can't play with Utah. They can't play with Portland or Houston.
You know what I used to hope, Chris? That Santa would bring me a train set. He ain't never bring me no
Look,
train
they
set.
got a
still
chance
want a
at
train
the
set?
4th seed.
I do.
They got a chance at the 4th seed.
Okay,
I'll get you a train set.
Golden State. Let's see, Golden State, San Antonio, Houston.
You got the Houston against
Let's get this
above
back
the
on
Clippers.
topic.
Go ahead, Skip.
All right.
Thank you.
Oh, you already know. That's Skip's guy.
Russell Westbrook has arrived on this show because he has now joined the conversation with one LeBron James, right? I'm shocked by this. We have elevated Russell into the LeBron conversation, just for the record, okay? Now, let me tell
He
you.
is the MVP right now.
all right.
Well, that's fading, though. That's starting to fade
I
already.
don't know about that.
Oh, yeah.
Here's what, to quote Russell, gets on my nerves. The way the Oklahoma City organization teaches its players to deal with the media. And you've been through this because you've been there and done all that. But they are taught this childish behavior of you use the media when you win and you play great. You bask in the glory of the media, and you'll stand for maybe 6 minutes as opposed to 4 minutes, and let them have their 6 minutes instead of their 2 minutes after you lose, whatever. But if you lose and you play poorly, then you blame the media around. How dare you ask me those questions? You're getting on my nerves. Which way is it? You can't have it both ways.
Nope, you cannot.
Because the classy way to handle that would have been, hey, we just played back-to-back at Portland. Losing at Portland is no shame whatsoever. Remember Golden State after the break last year? They went in and lost 137 to 105 at Portland. It happens. Yep. My Spurs have gone up there and gotten annihilated and humiliated. I don't know why. They just, once they catch fire up there, they will run you out of that building. Yep. And then to Utah, and to your point, they're the #1 defensive team in basketball because they got the stifled towers they call Rudy Gobert. There's no better rim protector than Rudy Gobert right now in the NBA. And what does Russell do? He attacks the rim. And half the time, I did not stay up to watch all of this game. I saw the first of it. But the point was, every time he's attacking the glass, that long arm of the law is up there, and he's doing this and he's doing that because he's 6'3", and he can skydive up there, but still. Yeah. How many times did you see him turn the ball over? Then he try to force it to Adams. Okay. So it's the wrong place, the wrong time, back to back. And does anybody expend more energy in basketball games than Russell Westbrook? No. So if you ask him to get his butt kicked in Portland and then turn right around and play the #1 defensive team in Utah the next night, he's probably going to have a hard time. And he had a really hard time. He's still averaging a triple-double, and I still believe he will continue to do so. But the classy way to handle that would be to say, you know what, we got beat by 2 really good teams and in their places, back to back. That's the way to handle that. But Russell hasn't been taught those manners with the media.
No, there's no question about that.
Can I ask you a question? What does the media talking about the triple doubles have to do with his play? If he just goes out there and plays like he plays, what does them talking to him about it before or after the game have to do with your play? You play your game. If you get the triple-double, you get the triple-double. You talk about it. If you don't, you still talk about it.
Yep.
That shouldn't be the impetus of how we didn't play good, so it was because we keep talking about the triple-doubles.
Yep.
Just think if Bron, every time he had a bad game, it was because of, you're the chosen one, or, you came back for this. You can't.
Well, I think if you're into that social media game, and I mean, everybody's talking about it on TV all day, on the radio all day. It's it's all over the place.
Now, if you're a top 5 player,
like LeBron, one of the smartest things he's done in his career. When it comes playoff time, I'm off social media. He's not watching TV.
Yep.
He's watching movies. He's not watching. You have to know who you are as a person.
Right.
Some people can handle that and even get fueled by it.
Right.
Others, it weighs on you.
Right.
So you have to know who you are as a person. I give Russell, he was smiling at least. His body language was not bad when he answered. It wasn't like he was growling at the media like, man, I'm tired of this triple-double talking. So maybe he looked like he said it in maybe a lighthearted way. I hope.
No.
But because he's got a long way to go.
He's got a long way to go. And I love your point. You're right. He's going solo now in that locker room. He doesn't have a partner to take a little of the pressure off.
Because
I just think, is that gonna wear on him? In addition to the media and the pressure of carrying that team, will he get tired of, if you're right, fighting for the 7th seed, fighting for the 6th seed, and when you used to compete for championships? So that's something they're gonna have to be concerned with.
Sometimes you need to be careful what you ask for, because although you think, I can't show who I really am, as long as that guy is here, that guy over there took a lot of pressure off you. He made your job a lot easier. So instead of averaging a triple-double, maybe you were a 25, 10, and 7 guy, but you were the number 2, number 3 seed. Now you're averaging a triple-double, and you're fighting for the 7th or 8th seed.
Yep.
It's gonna be. You get viewed differently, because if you look at Boogie Cousins' number, Boogie Cousins is a top 5 player just by looking at his numbers. But no playoffs. He's Coach Killer. He's malcontent.
Absolutely.
The dude is averaging 28 and 11.
And nobody's paying attention.
Nobody's paying attention to him. And he's a double-double guy since he's been in the league, and nobody even talks about it.
Something tells me Russell Westbrook's going to be okay. I think he's going to be all right. I think he'll rally back from this. I think he's going to be okay.
He'll be all right. But only less than 6 assists and 8 rebounds his last 3 games. Average.
Well, he'll be back in action against the Suns, and he went for 51 points, 13 rebounds, and 10 assists when he played them last night. I think he'll be okay.
No mercy.
Broncos defensive back Chris Harris Jr. was hit below the knee by Titans wide receiver Harry Douglas on Sunday, prompting Harris's teammate Von Miller to say, NFL players need to protect each other like NBA players. Miller said they're playing hard and superstars are going to be superstars, but they're always taking care of each other. There's never crazy hard fouls that can lead to somebody getting hurt. That stuff happens in basketball, but it's never intentional. Football is a more physical sport, but we've got to start doing that. We've got to take care of each other to continue to make our game great. We're joined by two-time Super Bowl champ Ray Lewis. Ray, welcome.
Yeah, good to see you.
Good morning.
Absolutely.
What's your take on what Von Miller said?
All right, listen, I 100% agree. I mean, look, it's something that we've never did, and I think going all the way back, even before Shannon, man, there was a certain level of respect that you had when players walked on the football field. There's a couple of things you don't do. You don't blind shot me, don't hit me in my knees, and me and you gonna be okay, right? And so what Von is really talking about is the ones that's so obvious, right? You go back a couple of weeks, Vontaze Burfict goes at Bennett knees, and when you see somebody like intentionally do that, you're asking yourself, what are you doing? And one of the players that used to really, really get on our team's nerve was Hines Ward, because he used to love that peel back block, right? And oh my gosh, and you know, when you started to see when he was doing it, it was really, bro, like you want to go that far with this? And I'll never forget a game we was playing, I want to say in Baltimore, Pittsburgh, and I was running down the field and he came up and hit me in my back. And so when he hit me in my back, I slapped him in the face like real quick. Like, no, don't walk away. Like, what are you, like, and because it's a written rule that we have. Play the game full speed. That's what Von's saying. Play the game full speed. Give me everything you got. But man, when it comes to me taking care of my kids, you can't disturb that. And
how
I
did
think
Hines react when you slapped him in the face?
Oh, he had no other choice how to react. Chip, I wasn't giving him time to talk. I was not giving. But I'm 100% with Von because. Look, basketball is a totally different animal. That's totally different, and so I get it. I'm glad he separated that because it's two totally different worlds.
I absolutely 1,000% agree with Von.
Yeah.
Because in the course of a game, whether you play offense or defense, you're going to be involved in about 65 to 70 plays where you're asking large men to run into larger men at a very high rate of speed. So there are going to be collisions and there are going to be injuries that happen.
Yeah.
But the injuries that we can avoid, where you intentional or purposely go out and try to injure someone. Because if I'm in the open field, and like I used to tell Mike Shanahan, my former coach, and Alex Gibb, who was an offensive line, I said, I'm not cutting someone in the open field. I said, I'm going to hit him in his mouth because I want him to know this is the type of player that I am. Yeah. Because that man has a wife or kid, he got mom, dad, grandma that he's taking care of. I'm doing the same. I'm not going to put his career and future in danger because I wouldn't want him to do that to me.
Right.
But I've always said this. If you did something to Rod, Ed, or John for the Broncos, or you did something to Trent or Tony Banks or Qadri Ismail when I played for the Ravens, I'm going to get you back. I believe in retribution because you're not going to put it on tape and have them say, if you get physical with this team, you can have them. Because that's what they will put on tape. And it's not going to happen. Yeah. What they will put on tape, if you do something to him or his teammates, he's going to get you back. I'm going to get you back.
Okay, I hear what both of you are saying, but what breaks my nerves is when I hear NFL compared to NBA because I get sick and tired of today's NBA with this buddy system. We all love each other and we're all brothers and stop it because Michael Jordan loved nobody except Michael Jordan. And to some extent, his teammates, but only to some extent did he love them. And I know Magic and Isaiah once kissed in the NBA Finals, but then they tried to tear each other's throats out.
Yes. Yeah.
Because it's how they were both put together. And I don't want to see the NFL get to that soft stage, and it sounds like grumpy old man talk, but I don't want to see it.
No.
It starts to ease toward that direction.
Listen, I 100% agree, but I think Von did a good job with really kind of separating that. Right now, I don't think we should ever go as far as the NBA. I'm telling you, we should not. Right? And so it's one of the reasons in the 9th grade why I quit basketball. Right? It's because in 9th grade, I'm running down the court and I'm playing basketball, and this kid, I foul him, and he's screaming out of his mind that I foul him. I'm like, this sport ain't for me. This is not for me. And I walked off the court.
Did
he was
you
like,
really?
what? I quit. Ninth grade. And just so happened, as I'm walking away from the court, I look over to my right, and there's a man standing there by the name of Stephen Poole, who later became my wrestling coach to take me to a state championship. And he was like, come in here and look at this. And I walked in there in the hot campus, and I said, man, I'm not doing none of this, right? But it was the ninth grade, and then me and him kind of got together a few years later and went and won a state championship. But the point was, I always said with basketball, I said, man, that's too soft of a sport for me. You know, people, you hit them on the hand, foul. Ain't nobody got time for that. Because you remember this. This is how physical I don't think people really understand, and Vaughn understands this. When we played Tennessee Titans, nobody really understood how physical Eddie George really was.
I told you that playoff game that I attended, that was as physical a football game as I've ever witnessed.
Skip, I'm telling you, when you got out of that, you needed to lay down for a week when you got out of that game, because that was a game, and that was played as honest as we could play it.
Yes.
There was no cheap shots. There was none of that. There was, when the whistle was going on, you're going to get everything I have.
That's all I need. All I need to know is how we're going to play the game today.
Today.
Are we going to play it snap the whistle?
Yep.
Snap the after the whistle?
Absolutely.
Because here's the line here. Are we looking over the line or are we stepping over the line?
Yep.
Because once we step over,
it's over.
I'm not coming back until the game's ending.
Yep.
So I'm chasing you. I'm going out of my way to try to get you or one of your teammates. And if I can do two at once, I'll take that too.
Yeah.
Because I want you, when you laying up in the treatment room, in the training room, and you got ice on your knee or your ankle, and the guy walked back, I want you to think, see, this could have been avoided. You caused this. It wasn't your fault, but you. So Skip got to pay for something Joy said to me.
Right.
That's the way it works.
Right.
But you got to do, but Skip, the stuff that Richard Sherman's doing, until somebody do something to him or one of his teammates, he's going to continue, and he's going to hide behind the rules. And like I said, two things can be true. It can be a legal play, but it can be dirty. Yeah. And he's dirty. And what Harry Douglas did, oh, Skip, I got to get him. I'm going, Skip, I'm going, look here.
But I
don't
did
throw
tell
me
you
any more passes.
by the letter of the law, he at least went face to face, and then he just tried to block him near the pile when he could have made a play. But by the letter of the law, the unwritten rule is you cannot do that.
Man,
but he didn't hit him in the back. He didn't cheat from behind.
Right. I only have a problem if you try to go at my knees or you hit me in the back. Any other play is free.
Yes.
It's play the game, right? It's like Clay Matthews a few weeks ago, right? Like,
you hit him in his chest.
Hit him in his chest. Like that's as clean as it gets, right? Anything else, we can meet in the parking lot. We can do a lot of other things.
By the way, I don't know how you two feel about this, but I haven't probably had enough sympathy for all the concussion lawsuits from the past. Because to me, and I've known a whole lot of people who played your game over many years, and if you choose to play your game, you know you're going to get your bell rung because you were getting it rung in Pop Warner. You're going to get rung. It's just the nature of this beast. It's going to happen. Nobody put a gun to your head and said you have to play football.
You tried to ring bells.
Right?
You tried to ring, Skip. Okay, when I first came into the league, I'd never heard the term concussion until probably maybe like 3 or 4 years before I retired. You got dinged, you got your bell rung. But even if I were to start playing now, even knowing what I know now, knowing that there's a greater chance for me to have neurological illnesses, ALS, Alzheimer's, or Parkinson's, I would still play it. Because what it allowed me to do for my grandmother, what it allowed me to do for my kids.
Risk versus reward.
Because unless the doctor can tell me 1,000%, Shannon, if you had never played this game, you would not get any of these conditions.
Right.
Then and only then would I'm having second thoughts maybe. But because he can't, but Skip, you tried to. I was on special teams. I prayed that somebody would make the guy cut back.
Oh my God!
So I could put my helmet in his ear hole.
It was my best hit. It was the best.
You live for that.
You live.
Special teams was your best hit.
Oh, it was always the peel back. but I'm gonna tell you something, and this is really interesting because before concussions was even thought about, in 1993, I knew I had a concussion, which is what made me choose defense over offense. Because I'm playing kickoff return, and we're playing the Bartow Yellow Jackets, and I know this kid is jumping off the couch right now that I'm about to tell this story. and I dropped the ball on the kickoff return, bro, and I'm looking down to pick up the ball. And by the time I pick up the ball, he hit me dead in my skull, and I couldn't see nothing. My eyes was closed, and I'm like this, but I heard him saying, "We got him. We knocked him out. We got him. We got him." And I said, "Get your behind up and walk off this field." And I shook my head and I walked off the field and I said, "You know what?" I said, "I'm not playing defense. I'm not playing offense in the next level."
I got hit twice like that. I got hit like that in the AFC Championship game against the Jets. I don't remember anything.
Right.
All I remember in the fourth quarter looking up at the scoreboard, and we were winning. Mm-hmm. Now, when I got hit, we were losing. Mm-hmm. I'm like, well, how did we get the lead? I said, well, I asked Rod Smith, and they got it. I was like, if we win the game, what happens? They're like, we go to the Super Bowl, fool. I said, yeah, we got them.
Yeah.
I don't remember nothing.
Right.
Well, your head is mostly clear now.
I'm clear now.
Right?
I be give Skip 100 headaches a day.
Yeah.
100 headaches a day, Skip has.
This is a terrifying conversation.
No mercy.
This is the Skip and Shannon Undisputed podcast, where we're delivering you an unscripted, unfiltered, undisputed version of the biggest topics of the day's show. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast on iTunes, like us on Facebook at Undisputed on FS1, follow on Twitter at Undisputed, and catch us at 9:30 a.m. Eastern, 6:30 Pacific, Monday through Friday on FS1. You can find us on channel 219 on DirecTV, 150 on Dish. Thanks for listening, everyone. I'm Joy Taylor, your host. We're back tomorrow for our final show of the week. We'll see you then.
Fox Sports 1 of 1.